Hey everyone, welcome back to Ormsby Farm, the Halfway Homestead. My name is Casey. Y'all, on today's video, we are going to make 3 different recipes from herbs from the garden. I'm really excited about it. This is kind of the first kind of preserving stuff that I usually do in the season. And now that we're at kind of a smaller, newer homestead, I thought today would be the best day to kind of show you what we got going on, what we're going to do. We're going to make a tincture, we're going to make some stevia for coffee, and we're going to make some delicious sun tea. So while all this footage of my garden is showing, be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. If you are new to my channel, press that subscribe button, but also press the bell because that will notify you when I have new videos. Let's get into the intro. Alrighty, y'all. So we, as you can see, it's a little past due because the oregano is already starting to flower. Same thing for the stevia. But I got a couple different thyme plants here. I got some oregano and I got some stevia. I just cut it off. I'm going to hope that some grows back, and sometimes it will. I'm going to bring it in because I'm going to dry some of the herbs. I got some rosemary, I got some basil, and I got some, I can't remember what I got the other one of. But first I'm going to start off with the stevia. So I'm going to wash it good in my strainer. I don't spray with any pesticides, but you still want to just give it a good little wash. Make sure bug and dust, everything of that is off of the plant. Strain it good. I want to make sure that it's dry also, so I pat it dry, and then I'm going to put it into a pot. Now the equation is for every half cup, which is what I had, I did a full cup of water. So 1 to 2 kind of ratio. And I'm going to put it on to boil. So I want to bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer. You see, I've brought it up to a boil, so now I'm going to let it simmer for probably about 6 to 8 hours. And I'm going to turn the stove completely off, and I'm going to move it to a different part of the stove and keep the top on, but just let it sit. So it sucks in all that deliciousness and the sweetness. And I tried it. It was so sweet, y'all. And I'm going to strain it, of course. I'm going to make a huge giant mess like I normally do. Right there. See? Bloop. Big old mess. And then right there, see, now I have some delicious liquid stevia that you can use for coffee, sweetening, baked goods, anything that you need. I'm using my 4-jar lids because I have missed my 4-jar lids so much, and it lasts up to a week in the fridge. All right, let's on to the next one. So in a half gallon, I'm going to fill with water and green tea. And I decided to pull some of that basil from the garden. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the basil in with the green tea. See right there? Isn't that basil beautiful? And it smelled so good, y'all. So now I'm going to put the top on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put it on a little small table in the sunniest part of my yard. And I'm going to let the sun do the rest, y'all. You're going to see in a second, it's going to go from clear to tea. How cool is that? I'm letting the sun do all of the work. I'm going to give it a little shake. Probably going to set it out there for another 3 to 4 hours before I really do anything with it. Get it a little more steeped in all of the flavors of the green tea and the basil. And then once I do that, I'm going to bring it inside, as you see, and I'm going to strain it in a colander in a bowl to get the basil and the tea bags out. Now, I did wash the basil before I put it in there before y'all come for me in the comments, but I'm also going to make a huge mess again. Y'all, I just been doing that all day today. And I'm going to pour it in there and strain out. I'm going to pull out the colander. And then I have the delicious tea, and I'm going to pour it with my 4-jar funnel back into that half gallon. So that I can sweeten it, and I'm going to put some other fun stuff in it to make it delicious kind of iced tea to have over these hot Georgia temperatures, because y'all, it has been hot. And what I'm going to do is I am going to actually use the stevia that I just made to sweeten it up. Now, in the video, I was real special, and I used the teaspoon, but it is 1 tablespoon, not a teaspoon. It's not very sweet if you use teaspoon, but if that's how you like it, do it how you like it. But 1 tablespoon of the stevia in this half gallon to sweeten it. But do y'all remember when I dehydrated some lemons, some limes, and some oranges? Basically, I did that because my dear friend Andale from Andale Homestead had talked about it, and I did it before we left the farm. So there is my dehydrated stuff. It lasts forever if you keep the moisture and stuff out of it. Smells still so good. So I'm going to put an orange in there. Mama's the camera lady today, and you could tell by the fingers. I'm going to put a lime, and I'm going to put a lemon. So I'm going to put all three in there. And I think I'm actually going to put one more. I couldn't really decide what I was going to do, and I'm just going to bloop, drop it in there, and we will see. And BTW, it tastes so good. I didn't show me tasting it, but it tasted so good. And I'm going to put it in the fridge, and it will last up to a week in the fridge. Same thing with the stevia. I'll probably do the stevia once a week, so that, you know, we have it consistently. And also, while I'm feeling very homesteady, I decided to buy a lemon balm, because lemon balm would be really good in your sun tea too. So I'm going to plant hers so I can start harvesting that. But next, what we're going to do is the oregano. The oregano has been sitting out, so it looks a little sad, but I'm going to take it off of the stalk, just the leaves, and then we're going to wash it. So I'm basically peeling all of this delicious, because I did a hard prune on this oregano. Oregano has such wonderful medicinal purposes. I will leave all that down below. But I like to wash mine and then dry mine, leave it out on a rag, let it dry, and then I'm going to fill it all the way up. Now, because I have such wonderful dear friends, Sandy and Andale, they told me just fill it all the way up and make sure your oregano is covered with 100% or 100 proof vodka. Now, this is not what I would make my martini with, y'all. This is totally different for my tinctures and my extracts. But that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a cup over the oregano to fill it all the way up. I'm going to put on my 4-jar lids like I am doing right now. And then I'm going to give it a little shake, and I'm going to keep it in a cool, dark area for 4 to 6 weeks, and then it will be ready. I'm going to strain it then. But all the rest of them, all I'm doing is I'm using these little bread ties, and I'm going to tie it up and dry. So my rosemary, I'm going to dry up. And I can use that for cooking. I use it for seasoning, for other different things. I also use dried rosemary to decorate tables if I have dinner parties. So this will be nice that our rosemary plant is doing really well. But I did all of that to my herbs, and then I hung them right by the pantry so that it can start drying out. And most people ask, well, what about dust? I'm not really too worried about it, to be for real. So don't come for me in the comments. But basil, thyme, and the rosemary, and it did so well. It smells so good in my kitchen now. But this is just a little peek of the garden, because I will do a completely different garden tour video. But I hope you enjoyed this video. How do you use your herbs? Comment down below and let me know. I'd love to hear. But be sure that you're also subscribing and hitting that bell icon so YouTube can notify you anytime that I put out new videos, which is very sporadic lately. But also follow me on social media at Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, all at Ormsby Farms. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all. Be blessed.